Good afternoon. This is mostly what I love about being in a girls' school crowd. We all know how difficult it is to gather the attention of folks who are passionately engaged, and I think we're all very responsive and respectful when somebody's trying to get our attention, so I thank you for that. I'm Trudy Hall, for those of you who have not yet had a chance to meet, and it is my great privilege to serve as the president of the National Coalition of Girls' Schools Board. I now face the challenge of launching us into a 25th anniversary celebration while you most likely would prefer to continue the engaging conversations at your table. So thank you so much. I'm going to model bravery, and here I go. I'm going to dive in. Good afternoon, and thank you for taking a moment from your conversations to come to our birthday party. We could not have imagined this party without you. It was essential that you were here. How appropriate it is to invite the world to our party as NCGS sees itself as a convener of the conversation on how to best educate and empower girls. It was precisely right to gather a global audience to collaborate together on the issues related to girls' education and healthy development around the world. This is a moment to applaud our successes, even as we look to the future and acknowledge our challenges that were so well spoken by the Baroness this morning. It is my privilege to ask Megan Murphy, the extraordinary visionary who imagined the concept for this party, and the woman behind the success NCGS is currently experiencing, to help us launch the birthday celebration. Megan?
Good afternoon. Is everyone having a great conference? Yeah. Okay, good. That's what we were hoping. Yesterday, you heard me speak about the 13 strategic partners who were brave enough to join us at NCGS to convene this global forum. And what you may not know enough about is just how critical sponsors have been to joining us to make this global forum possible. And so it's my great pleasure today to introduce you to one of these great sponsors. Since 2010, Girl Up has funded United Nations programs that support the education of girls in developing countries. Girl Up is dedicated to ensuring that girls everywhere have the opportunity to succeed. And I'm so pleased that at our member schools, we have many girls who have joined Girl Up, demonstrating that they really appreciate the mission of Girl Up, and in so doing, they grow as leaders and they grow as global citizens. Melissa Hillebrenner-Kilby leads these efforts as the director of Girl Up. So please welcome to the podium, Melissa Hillebrenner-Kilby.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to start by thanking Megan, and the National Coalition of Girls' Schools has actually been a founding partner of Girl Up since 2010, and it has definitely been one of our most successful and engaging partnerships that we've had, and so much of our growth and success has happened at girls' schools, and we're just thrilled to be a part of this conference. Before I jump in on why Girl Up exists and how you and your schools can get involved, I'd love to actually just share with you our 5-year video. I think it will paint a beautiful picture of what we do at Girl Up, and we'll start with that.
My love, love, love. My love, love, love. My love, love, love. My love, love, love.
Step by step, village by village, school by school, girl by girl. That's how you make change in this world.
So I wanted to just start by kind of grounding us all, and I know we share this in common. 62 million. It's roughly the population of the entire United Kingdom. All of the countries that make up the United Kingdom. I know many of you are here. 62 million is also the population of California and Texas, are two of our most populous states in the U.S. 62 million is also the number of girls who are out of school around the world today. An entire country, an entire United Kingdom, and two of our most populous states. If you took that entire population, that's how many girls want to be in school and aren't. So when you think about that number, 62 million, think about those populations. Another number really drives us at Girl Up, and an issue that we really care about and our girls really care about is 39,000. That would fill Madison Square Garden twice. That's the number of girls who are married under the age of 18 every day. We're just up the street from Madison Square Garden. I'm sure many of you are from New York. You know how full that arena can be. And imagine filling that arena every day with girls who should be in school, who should be girls and not adults, who should not be getting married. And these are just two issues that we focus on at Girl Up. And you saw in the video, and hopefully many of you know Girl Up already, which I am super curious. Maybe I'll ask later how many of you do. But those are both very big drivers to us. And the reason that these two statistics, above all of the others, stand out for us is because this is what girls care about. They can relate to this very, very directly. If you're 15 and you live here in the U.S., or in the Philippines, or in the United Kingdom, or in Rwanda in Africa, you know what it's like to want to be in school, to get to go to school, and you can relate to the idea that I'm 15 and I might not know what it's like to live in another country, but I certainly know that I don't want to be married right now. And these are two issues that just really stand out for us. Some major things have happened for girls, and I hope that this isn't new information. We just rounded out our Millennium Development Goals at the end of 2015. And you can see here the 8 goals there. Girls were never listed as their own specific population with their own specific metrics and outcomes and tactics and indicators. They were loosely included with women and children. But that's actually part of the problem, is that adolescent girls are not women, and they shouldn't be treated as women, and they're also not children. They hit a very specific population with very specific issues. This is when puberty is happening. This is when someone might want them to be a woman, but they shouldn't be yet. And so we're thrilled as we go into 2016 and we go into the next 15 years, and this really is guiding, Girl Up's work going forward in the future, is that girls are named specifically now in the new set of goals, and the Sustainable Development Goals that the world came together and voted on last year, and now we have the daunting task of figuring out how we accomplish these goals. So if you look at Goal 4, quality education, Girls are listed specifically. Gender parity at school is listed specifically. And secondary education is also a primary target for this goal, whereas in the MDGs, the goal was really for primary education. And if you look at Goal 5, gender equality, there are many indicators specifically addressing adolescent girls and their issues and their needs. Child marriage is called out specifically, and the world will be measuring how we do on those rates. So that's the good news. The good news is we've come a long way. We've learned a lot in the last 15 years, and the world has sort of agreed that girls need their own goals and their own measurements. So what Girl Up has done in the last 5 years, we launched in September 2010, and we have impacted directly 20,000 girls living in developing countries through our UN partners. At the same time, we have trained more than 20,000 girl leaders. And what I mean by girl leaders is girls who lead this campaign through their clubs at schools. Many of them, I hope, are at your schools, through our Teen Advisory Board, through Girl Up Campus. We've now expanded onto university campuses. And they're leading through action. They're advocating. They're going to Capitol Hill. They're doing in-district meetings. They're asking their government officials to back up these goals and to use our position here in the U.S. as a leader on foreign policy and foreign aid. We're seeing that also happen in other donor countries and other countries of influence around the world, where we're saying these are issues that U.S. citizens care about, and we want to have a government and government officials who care about these issues too. So it's these high school girls, these middle school girls, these college girls who are advocating on behalf of girls just like them. They're also raising money. They're hosting events. They're mobilizing their schools and their communities. We recently, in early 2015, actually got a law passed. And that means it actually went through Congress unanimously, bipartisan support. I don't know how many laws actually got passed last year, but Girls Count did. And it was all about birth registration, because if you don't start your life being counted by your government, what does that mean for how much you actually matter to them? You're not going to be able to own property. You're not going to be able to go to school. You're more susceptible to child marriage and human trafficking if you can't prove your identity, if you can't prove your residence, if you can't prove your age. And so a birth certificate feels very simple to us. It feels very automatic. But for 250 million girls around the world, they don't get to start their life that way. And so the Girl Up campaign, 380,000 actions were taken by this campaign over the course of 2014 and 2015 to get this law passed. And what it does is it's a policy directive for the U.S. government to use our work, our foreign policy through the State Department and our funding through USAID to really help countries strengthen their registration systems. And it was high school, middle school, and college girls that made this happen. Our Teen Advisor program is 6 years strong. We actually have one of our teen advisors here, Amani, up in front. There you go. That's what I like to see. Stand up. Stand up, speak up, rise up, right? Our Teen Advisor program allows us to be a For Girls, By Girls campaign. And we really believe that. This campaign is led by girls. It was girls who started the first clubs. It was girls who started the first regional coalitions. It was girls that said, I want to take this to college. It was girls that told us that first year of Girl Up, give us more to do. We want this to be meaningful. We want to take real action. You've turned our world upside down because you introduced us to all these issues that other girls are facing, and it's not fair that there are girls around the world who have to go through what they have to go through, whereas I just happen to be lucky enough to be born in this country. Give us something to do to help our sisters. And so really, this campaign is built on the ideas and the motivation of girls. And I want to plug a couple things because, you know, that's why we sponsored this conference. It's a pretty good audience for Girl Up. We actually are currently recruiting our teen advisor, our next teen advisor class. And a lot of our teen advisors are club leaders, but not all of them. So if you know a girl, maybe she has started the Girl Up Club at your school, or maybe she's doing amazing women's empowerment work, or has been committed to international issues. Maybe it's water, maybe it's sanitation, but she's in your school and you know that she's just the kind of girl, just like Amani, who wants to take a leadership role with this international organization. Our applications are actually open for another 2 weeks. If you go to our website, girlup.org, girls can apply right there. Entering 7th grade through senior year. So I plug that. I also want to let you know that we do have a table out in the main exhibitor area. My colleagues Rachel and Chelsea are here through the entire conference. They can answer all your questions, get you signed up. Talk to them. Talk to Amani. I think one of the things that's very unique about Girl Up as a model is that girls decide what they're going to do. We don't have an adult take them through a curriculum. We do have adult advisors to help them navigate the school system and finding space and helping with, you know, different logistics, but it's really the girls who decide the impact that they're going to have. They do not have to fundraise. They certainly can. They can take up advocacy. They can be an awareness building club. They can be a very intellectual academic club where they, you know, watch films and read articles and read books and have these conversations around what it might mean to get to gender equality. They get to decide. And that's what has made, I think, Girl Up so authentic and so successful. So we have some ambitious goals as we look at our next 5 years. Currently, our campaign is 500,000 supporters strong. We've reached and built the leadership skills of those 40,000 girls. We want that number to be 100,000. Between our UN investments and the girl leaders that we're training through our club program, through our leadership summit that we host every summer in Washington, D.C. Please keep your eye out for that also. We would love to have your schools there. And through our advocacy. And we want to be an international global movement. We want to be a household name because we've really seen girls respond to this campaign and be able to bring Girl Up in as part of their identity. The girls who started with us 6 years ago still do Girl Up activities at their university. This is a campaign that appeals to a 12-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 22-year-old. Because it's authentic to their experience. Thank you so much for the work that you do to bring girls the best education that they can get. I know there's 23 countries represented here. We've got clubs in 76 countries, so I'm sure we overlap, and if not, we would love to. And thank you for the work that you do. Thank you so much for having us as part of the program, and please stop by and see my colleagues. They're also hosting a workshop this afternoon around a STEM and STEAM camp that we hosted in Rwanda this past summer with the State Department and are hoping to do more of. So hope you'll all stop by and learn more. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Melissa, and thank you for the work that you do. We stand in awe of what Girl Up has accomplished, and we are very proud to be in collaboration with you. To really understand the impact of the National Coalition of Girls' Schools over the last 25 years, and to really appreciate the vision of our co-founders and the early conveners of the conversation, you need only consider the shifts in the educational landscape in the last quarter century. The early days of the feminist movement and the Title IX push for equal access placed all single-sex institutions at risk. Although coeducation had been the norm in public schools in the U.S., the social changes occurring in this country in the 1970s helped solidify it as a universally accepted standard in both public and independent education. Men's colleges and secondary schools wanting to respond to the feminist cry for equal access, but also seeing the economic advantages in widening their applicant pool, opened their doors to women and girls. And suddenly, girls-only institutions were no longer seen as a natural alternative. Despite the historic role that girls' schools had played in promoting quality education for girls, all-girls education was seen as anachronistic, perhaps even counterculture. But girls' school educators knew otherwise. They understood that making the fact-based case for what can happen when there are no boys in the classroom was vital to the future of girls' schools. From its earliest beginnings, there were two givens for NCGS. Its publications would be grounded in sound research, and collaboration would be both the norm and the expectation. These two foundational pillars have defined NCGS's success. As one of our board members likes to say, the organization strives to be the culture that our girls' schools create. In the late 1980s, two educators, Rachel Balash, then head of Miss Porter's School and president of the Coalition of Girls Boarding Schools, and Arlene Gibson, then head of Kent Place School and president of the Coalition of Day Schools, issued a call to action among their respective colleagues. These impressive leaders had a deep understanding of how girls learn and succeed, and they had no doubt about the value and benefit of an all-girls education. Their single-minded focus: systemically document the benefits of an all-girls educational environment and share that information broadly. Accordingly, in 1988 and 1990, two different studies were undertaken by these two separate coalitions. In the research and promotion of the benefits of all-girls schooling, these two organizations became leaders in the national dialogue on girls' and women's issues. Fortified with new data for the cause, the leadership of these two organizations understood the formidable power of collective action. In November 1991, 56 independent and religiously affiliated schools officially came together to form the National Coalition of Girls' Schools. Its first undertaking, a comprehensive public relations campaign to heighten the visibility and document the value of the girls' school experience. Meg Moulton and Woody Ransom, to whom we bow down, had been serving as the executive directors of the Coalition of the Girls Boarding School and were asked enthusiastically to stay on as the founding executive directors of NCGS. These two colleagues, once referred to by one former board chair as the Guerrilla Girls for their strategic tactics, were the yin and the yang of NCGS, setting precedent for innovative programming that established a future of healthy growth for the members of NCGS. The organization was forward-thinking from the outset by expanding membership to include public schools within the first 2 years of its membership, also including international schools at the same time. Their vision, their partnership, their entrepreneurial instincts, their passion set the stage for all that has followed. With the commitment to this national coalition, collaboration replaced competition in the girls' school world. Research supported belief. The climate and the conversation shifted. Within a decade, girls' schools were enjoying a renaissance, one that continues today. Meg Moulton once noted, girls' schools went from being considered dinosaurs to being considered dynamite. I urge you to take a moment to check out the archival displays located near the entrance of the ballroom. The walk through NCGS history will inspire you, and it will remind you that any dream made real is all about partners, collaboration, networks, and the right cause. Here to celebrate with us are several of the coalition's former trustees and foundational leaders, and I would like to take a moment to ask the following people to stand and be recognized. Some of our earliest board chairs and some of the thought leaders early on: Mary Lou Leipheimer, Arlene Hogan. Is Arlene here? Okay. Pat Hyo and Diana Beebe. If you all help me recognize these. Now, to give their work some importance, let me tell you and remind you that all of them were heads of school at the time they were founding this organization, which tells you the passion that they brought to that cause. And of course, we must offer a special acknowledgement of two women who considered the founding of NCGS a calling and whose commitment to collaboration has deeply rooted the organization in feminist integrity. Please help me offer gratitude to the NCGS Guerrilla Girls, Woody Ransom and Meg Moulton. Every anniversary is always a celebration of what has been and what is to come. And so as we move beyond 25 years of stunning success, I invite Megan, the current entrepreneurial genius of NCGS, to share with you her vision for the Coalition's exciting future.
Thanks, Trudy. It was in September that the NCGS board initiated a process of reviewing our mission, vision, and value statements. And so on our 25th anniversary, it made sense, and we wanted to unveil these statements to you. Today, I'm proud to share the thoughtful product of that work. NCGS's purpose, principles, and practices are really built on a quarter century of success and will better focus us on supporting girls' schools well into the future. As our purpose, NCGS aspires to be the leading advocate for girls' schools. We want to connect and collaborate globally with individuals, with schools, and with organizations equally dedicated to educating and empowering girls. The board affirmed key principles to guide our work: community and collaboration, leadership and integrity, opportunity and innovation, and self-efficacy and agency. And I think each of these principles is reflected so well in the powerful statements that are projected here. As our practice, NCGS will focus on 4 key areas of services: advocacy, where we will champion the benefits of all girls' schools; research, networking, and professional development, where we will continue to convene forums of all kinds. NCGS strives to really be an international thought leader on best practices in girls' education, and we think that these purpose, principles, and practice statements will guide our global engagement with this important work. Throughout the past 25 years, our mission has been advanced by leading educators at our girls' schools, many of whom you've met over the course of the last day and a half. We do like to take a moment at our conferences to recognize our leaders with awards. Starting next year in the 2016-2017 school year, just in time for our next conference, which will be in June of 2017, we will have a new award to bestow. NCGS will present the first Bill Christ Educator Prize in honor of former NCGS trustee and visionary head of Hathaway Brown School for the past 28 years. The prize is established by Bill's friends at Hathaway Brown in advance of a very well-deserved retirement this summer. The Bill Christ Educator Prize of $1,000 will honor either a male or female teacher who defines creative excellence, innovative curriculum, entrepreneurial teaching, collaborative design, values that characterize Bill's own work and really earned him the reputation of being the quintessential educator's educator. So Bill is here with us today, and I want to ask him to stand so that we can all demonstrate our gratitude for his incredible leadership over decades of the girls' school landscape. It's right that this award designates his educational legacy. Bill. Let me now introduce you to this year's Ransom Prize recipient. The Ransom Prize is an annual award presented in honor of NCGS co-founder Whitty Ransom, established by her wonderful husband, Tom Wilcox. NCGS presents this $1,000 award to, quote, a woman who has made outstanding contributions to the coalition and to a member school. This year's recipient exudes pure devotion to a higher cause, joyfulness in serving others, and grace and generosity. And these are the exact qualities that characterize Whitty's style and her own commitment to NCGS. It's my privilege to introduce to you this year's Ransom Prize winner, Concepcion Alvar, former NCGS trustee and the headmistress of Marymount School of New York. Under Concepcion's visionary leadership, Marymount girls are truly living the school's mission to challenge, to shape, and to change the world. Concepcion is a graduate of NCGS member school, Miriam College of the Philippines. We have many representatives from Miriam College, and we will hear from the president of Miriam College as our keynote in just a few moments. Concepcion has really dedicated her life's work to supporting the growth of women in every area of their lives. She became the first lay headmistress of Marymount in about 2004, after having served for, I think it was 13 years as the director of admissions, another 3 years as a head teacher, and I think 16 years as the director of summer programs at Marymount. So indeed, Concepcion is a lifer at Marymount. With the belief that students learn best by doing, Concepcion invested in maker education during its infancy, creating the first fabrication lab at a K-12 independent girls' school, modeled after the MIT Fab Lab. As engagement soared, she leveraged that success by adding a tinker space, an idea lab, and a STEAM center. As Marymount became an international leader in maker education, Concepcion wanted to share the school's expertise with educators locally, nationally, and internationally. Sponsored in part by a grant from the E.E. Ford Foundation, she established the Making and Learning Institute, which is a professional development community. It serves more than 200 teachers in 11 states and 75 different schools. The Institute is designed to promote a maker culture. It offers immersions into innovative teaching practices, design thinking, and digital learning. Please help me in welcoming to the podium Concepcion Alvar.
Oh, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Meg. And yes, I bow to you, Meg and Whitney, because you were my first teachers. I accept this award with the utmost gratitude and respect to all the women and also the men. There were men there who helped shape me to be the fearless leader of a girls' school in New York City, Marymount School. I look around this room and I see many, many familiar faces. We were younger then, because I remember that one hot day in June at Miss Porter's school when we all huddled together and we renewed our commitment to the girls that we serve. The room was so full of bold ideas and ambitious plans. I see someone nodding her head. And there was such exciting synergy in the room. We knew that the girls deserve more care, more attention, and more media coverage. We knew that the girls' schools where we all work are transformative settings, because we know that girls dramatically impact the future of mankind, of humankind. because, as Nicholas Kristof says, we make half the sky. How can we not invest in girls' education? How can we not invest in the future of girls? So, never one to refuse a challenge, I joined this incipient movement, and I made a pledge, and I said to myself, yes, I would be one of those school leaders who will unlock the powers of the economic catalyst among the girls that we serve. So what did we do? We created many, many opportunities at Marymount, just like all the other heads of schools, for girls to speak up, to compete, to excel, to lead, to experiment, to invent, to opine, and to flourish. Whether it was in the fabrication lab or in the Tinker Spaces or in the Idea Lab, we explored alternative courses. And I have the girls here in front of me, who took advantage of these courses. Alternative courses in coding, data visualization, design thinking, engineering, making, virtual global conferences, social justice courses as well. So I very humbly accept this award, not for my own achievements, but really and truly for the achievement of all of us in this room, the students, the teachers, and most especially the heads of schools, because I join you in accepting this award because we all share a very important and a sacred mission to educate the girls and empower them to take their rightful places at the table. Yes, I repeat that, their rightful places at the table, where discussions about economic disparities, healthcare issues, geopolitical struggles, environmental concerns are being talked about. We need to sit there and we need to be a part of the discussion because women are not the problem, girls are not the problem, we are the solution. And how can we not take our rightful places, or how can our girls not take their rightful places when really and truly the decisions about their future and the future of society is on them? Thank you very much. Tom and Whitty, thank you for this honor. So at this point, I want to introduce a fellow countryman, somebody from the Philippines, Dr. Rosario Lapus. Speaking of a mover and shaker in the movement that is creating change in girls' education in another part of the world, and I'm talking about Asia, allow me to introduce Dr. Rosario Lapus, the revered president of my alma mater, Miriam College in the Philippines. A lifelong and global learner, Dr. Lapus pursued her studies in different parts of the world. She earned her diploma in French studies from the Université de Grenoble, I hope I said that right, and the Université de Paris à la Sorbonne. She holds 2 master's degrees from Boston College and the University of Massachusetts, and a doctorate in education from the University of the Philippines. And as if that is not enough, she also did postdoctoral work at Harvard Graduate School of Education. But most notable is her role as chairperson of the Consortium of Women's Colleges in the Philippines. And so, as the context and the challenges reshape the thinking behind girls' education, having someone like Dr. Lapus at the helm is indeed a blessing. She took the lead and formed the girls' education movement, bringing her creative energy and new dynamism and a renewed sense of purpose to this incipient movement. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce Dr. Lapus.
I think Ed will pick it up from you. He's helping me. Oh, I am so amazed, so honored Chit is one of our amazing alumni. We are so proud of her. And we are so happy to be here on NCGS's 25th birthday. Happy birthday. And on top of that, today is what? Lunar, yes, our celebration. Kung Hei Fat Choi, everyone. So we're here at our first NCGS Global Forum. I remember talking to Megan by Skype, I think 1.5 years ago, but now we're here. The world has indeed become increasingly small and interdependent. And so I'm here to talk about our own journey at Miriam College and how, inspired by experiences like this today, we have spearheaded our own movement in working towards raising up girls' education in my country. So, what is a movement? How does it grow? It's actually heat from below that causes things to move. It's groundswell. It's getting enough people, a critical mass, to believe in and become committed to the change that we envision. And NCGS has become a great movement. Important movements have brought change to the lives of people. In 1986, it was the collective efforts of Filipinos that brought down a dictator and brought back our democracy. It was a woman that led that movement. A movement was definitely needed, too, in the area of girls' education in the Philippines, in the way girls' schools saw themselves, their identities, their mission, goals, and methods in delivering education. We took up this challenge. Miriam College is a school whose history is replete with stories of great courage and fearlessness. Taking on something new is in our DNA. There we are, the Maryknoll Sisters. Our school was founded by the Maryknoll Sisters of New York, so it started right here in this state. New York Times calls them trailblazers in habit. Yes. We were delivering quality education at Miriam, so things moved. The school was turned over to the laity because the Maryknoll Sisters wanted to go back to their original mission, and so they gave it to the Filipino laity to administer, and the name changed as well, so it has now become Miriam College. So at Miriam College, we were delivering quality education. We were accredited, or we still are, we're accredited at the highest level with our graduates high achievers in college as well as in life. But what seemed missing to me was a vision and philosophy fully reflective of a girls' school. I thought we could do better. We needed to take pride in our identity, to go beyond being a school that hasn't turned co-ed, or a sister school to a boys' school. Unfortunately, we were right next door to the Ateneo de Manila, which is the prime Jesuit boys' school in the Philippines. So in the early 90s, I was exposed to the work of Carol Gilligan, and her questions started me thinking. Her key message resonated with me, as I'm sure they must with all of you, that we have to develop the voices of our girls, their exuberant, unfettered voices. All too often, girls engage in self-censorship, and this results in a voice that is guarded and stilted, not authentic, trying to conform to what society wants in women. I was determined that our girls would not lose their voices. It was particularly critical for us in the Philippines because of our own cultural practices that make girls less likely to speak up and be their own selves. As principal of the high school then, I was in a strategic location and the time was ripe. Many people were listening. So what was needed? First, to raise expectations for our girls, to listen to them, to build on their strengths, to provide them with mentors and role models. And we had so many amazing alumni. I found the high school fertile soil. Fertile for the explorations, learnings, failures, and successes we needed to do to get to the path we wanted to take. I started with one project, Girls at the Center. I thought that will bring the focus back to our students, our girls who are at the center of our work, our research, our teaching. It is based on the premise that girls have so much to say, so many ideas to pursue, so many projects to create. So now we take time off every year to celebrate our girls, their identities, their efforts, their successes, their failures, their passions, and their interests. This year, the British Council has top-billed our girls' performances in what they call Shakespeare, creative interpretations of Shakespeare through street plays all over Metro Manila. In these activities, we make use of what we see as the best ways of working with a girl, through models and mentors. And here we see our own President Aquino, who was high-fiving it with the girls. You know, that was his way to de-stress. And then, President Michelle Bachelet of Chile, our last visitor on campus, her message to the girls, don't try to be super women, girls. Just be yourselves. And mornings with alumni. Experiential and project learning. Collaboration with peers. But most of all, seeing themselves as sources of knowledge. I had the opportunity of bringing in more converts within the school, developing like-minded people who share the same vision and philosophy. So my next target was faculty. While I wanted to fire some people, instead, I took the positive route of firing them up. So I invested in them. You know, we invested in them. The school invested in them. In their going out to conferences and seminars, even overseas, where, you know, it's very expensive, especially New York. This was our way of exposing them to new ideas and ways of thinking. I went with a team to our first NCGS conference in Wellesley in 2011 on STEM. Then to the next one. And the next one. So we became regular clients, right, Megan? And our team grew. Our school blossomed. Our programs became more dynamic. We joined AGSA as well, Lauren, the Alliance of Girls' Schools in Australasia. And we saw the value of those two coalitions. They inspired us to form our own group in the Philippines and clearly articulate our vision for girls' education. Thus, Miriam College initiated Project Cogent, or the Cooperation for Girls Education, Nurturance and Training, which brought together 18 girls' schools from all over the Philippines. The U.S. State Department funded this initiative through their Spring Democracy Grant. You know, the USAID director, not that we pulled any strings, was our graduate. There was much diversity among these schools, spread out among 7,100 islands, but they had one common purpose: to champion girls' education. We shared best practices in STEM, in art, and in the social sciences. We had long discussions on the challenges we all faced and our different responses to them. In the end, the relationship among these sister schools evolved into a more lasting one, and we formed PAGE, which is the Philippine Alliance for Girls' Education. The challenge continues, but we have taken the first steps of the journey. We continue to help each other, aware of the difficulties of maintaining the momentum. We have been forced to find solutions to the problem of limited resources and are now turning to the power of technology. And in June of 2016, we will inaugurate the country's first makerspace for girls, a place where students can gather to learn, to create and transform their ideas into prototypes and realities, and connect and share them with others. Another promise lies in joint research and in tapping organizations that can help with project development and funding. In the meantime, there's so much we are learning from each other. So that's our makerspace to be opened in July. The first for girls in the Philippines. No. You know, in ending, I'd like to repeat here what I shared as we ended our PAGE conference. Individually, we are one drop, but together, we are an ocean. And my call to NCGS is this: let us take back, all of us, what we have learned from this conference, share that with others, build upon it, and work vigorously towards globalizing our classrooms and our schools. And maybe, just maybe, let's plan so the next global forum will be in Asia. How's that? Thank you, everyone.
You can't fool me. You only want it in Asia because you don't like those 25-hour plane rides. Dr. Lapus, you are a mover and a shaker, and we would like to take a page out of your book and congratulate you and the Philippines for what you have done for girls. So thank you very, very much. Before we send you on your way, we have just a few housekeeping announcements. Even though we're just about halfway through this particular Global Forum, we want to let you know what's coming next because we know all of you are planners and you will want to mark this on your calendar. We are very busy planning our next conference, and it will be in June 2017, June 25th through the 27th to be precise, and we will be once again at a Marriott, and this time in Washington, D.C., where we'll be at the Marriott Wardman Park Hotel. Our topic for that convening will be innovation, and we are excited to be able to bring you the kind of programming that we have been able to bring you in the last couple of years and to wrap it around the exciting theme of innovation. We are still trying to determine what we will speak about on June 18th through 20th in 2018, where we will once again be back in Washington. So if you have ideas and thoughts on programming, please let us know. You'll have an opportunity to provide us with this information on the post-conference survey that you're going to receive by email, and you will fill it out. Tonight, we are looking forward to seeing you at the Girls' School Networking Reception. It's a great opportunity for conversation and for continued collaboration. Please, please remember to wear your name tag. It is the entrance to the event, so please have your name tag on as you enter the event. Now, at this time, we would be delighted to have you make your way to breakout session D, and we'll see you back here later this afternoon. Thank you so much for your attention this afternoon.